This is a review comparing the ZK-2 to the old ZK-1. And at first glance, the ZK-2 is obviously better, smaller, lighter, rounder, easier to grab if you need to lock off your position, or if you're just reaching out. It acts in a much smoother manner with the pulley. Nice action there. It tends really easily with one hand. All good things. But a lot of, I think, what gives the ZK-2 such a big advantage is the use of a stiff tether. Now here's the ZK-1 used with a stiff tether. Almost behaves totally different than it used to with the floppy regular rope tethers, but the stiff tether has it engaging and disengaging right on point, right on time. Again, the only disadvantage of the old ZK-1, clunkier, heavier, closer to hitting you in the face, but it's still, with the use of the stiff tethers, almost just as smooth. The only disadvantage between the ZK-2 and the ZK-1 that I find is that before you could adjust the amount of drag on your wrench by changing where this lower portion is. Not a big deal if you use same diameter rope all the time, but if you have ropes of varying diameter in your collection, which a lot of us do, you're not going to be able to control the difference in the drag. Like, say, if there's a thinner rope here, there's going to be less drag on the wrench and more pressure on your knot. Or if there's a thicker rope, there's going to be too much drag on the wrench and not enough on your knot. That's the only downside that I find with the ZK-2. Again, that was not an issue with the ZK-1, and I believe since the use of the stiff tether, the ZK-1 behaves a lot like the ZK-2. It's just a little clunkier. So, all in all, better, but you lose a little bit of customability and an adjustment without being able to move this pulley or compensate for different diameters. They both act the same when used with a stiff tether. They both basically ascend the same. I'm just going to go up a little bit just to show. Sits right back in there. The tether has it catch almost immediately. Moves really smooth. And again, a lot of that is in part because of the pulley, but also because of the tether. Now, this one I'm using here is a Sterling. I like this. It's a little shorter than the initial big, long, ugly ones that first came out. It's a little sleeker. It does help prevent the wrench from completely collapsing. It keeps it sort of in a neutral zone there, and it's flexible enough to go around bends without causing too much of a problem. The only thing with this tether sometimes is if your knot tenses up while you're ascending, it will give way a little bit more than the older solid tethers. I don't know if you noticed, but I've taken to clipping on the back of my Pinto for ascent. I find this, particularly with the ZK-1, it keeps the thing out of your face. Clip in back here, and I don't have to attach carabiners and pieces of throw line and all that kind of stuff, which is all well and good. But I like this a little better. Plus, I like to clip in low to my system as opposed to high. I find that when you actually start going up, it keeps it still kind of close to you, so there's not that far to sit back into when you go to engage the thing.